Thank you so much, Dr. Adruti, for your meaningful speech. Moving ahead, I would like to introduce our next speaker, Ms. Firdaus Jahan. Ms. Firdaus Jahan is an electrical engineering postgraduate with multidimensional knowledge, having around 20 years of global experience in business intelligence, data analytics, sales and management, tendering, contracting, teaching, and project management. She has a certificate in Arabic translation. Currently, she is working as an independent consultant, a career counselor, and a personal development coach. She has helped many young minds in business and career advancement. She is an enthusiastic religious speaker, a good social counselor, and a Zakira by nature. Please welcome Ms. Firdaus Jahan.
Assalamu alaikum everyone. Thank you Manja for your kind words. Auzubillahi minash shaitanir rajim. Bismillahir rahmanir rahim. Alhamdulillahi rabbil alamin. Allahumma salli ala Fatema wa biha wa barik wa baniha wa sirril mustawdafiya bi yadil mahdabiyin bi kitab. Am I audible? Yes. First of all, I would like to thank Iran Cultural House and NSEG Women's Group for giving me an opportunity once again to speak on the role of women in Islam. I'm honored to share this platform with the eminent figures like Dr. Rabbani, Dr. Zahra, Dr. Khadija, and other eminent ladies from Iran and India. I wish you all the very best in your future endeavors. So enough has been said, and I think very valuable information has been said already, and I will try to not to repeat the same information. Today's topic is the role of a Muslim woman in the life of Lady Fatema Zahra Salamullah alaiha. If we talk about Fatima, then we must also talk about her mother, who delivered this purest soul Allah has ever created. Lady Khadija al-Kubra Salamullah alaiha, Lady Fatima, her daughters, Zainab al-Kubra, Zainab al-Sughra Salamullah alaiha, all played pivotal roles in their respective times. All of them were revolutionary figures in Islam. Even before the declaration of prophethood, Lady Khadija was serving that ignorant society indefinitely while adhering to strict Islamic values. If the Prophet was referred to as Sadiq and Amin in these times of Jahiliyyah, Khadija was referred to as the Tahira, the pure woman. She barely left her house and yet ran the biggest business ever in Arabian Peninsula. She had a profound intellect and insight for justice and peace. That's the reason her regal financial status never overpowered her. She wasn't in love with the material world. She sacrificed everything, including herself, for the mission of the Prophet, and when she returned back to her Lord, her daughter came to rescue for the Prophet. The Prophet once stated that seeing Fatima would rekindle the passion for Risalah within me. Imagine, she was the source of inspiration for the Prophet himself. A Catholic priest, Father Christopher Closet of Italy, started writing about Imam Hussain al-Salam, and then he studied about his mother. He says, I was surprised to learn that Lady Fatima was such a revolutionary figure in Islam, and we know so little about her. For over 1400 years, she has been an inspiration to all. Imagine how much of a difference studying about her can make in a non-Muslim's life if we Muslim women try to imitate her in every sense. Zahra is the beacon of spirituality and practical life, a role model for all women and men of the world. She invites them all to take the same path. As I always say, she was the female version of the Prophet himself. She was an extraordinary woman who lived an ordinary life and preferred not to have interaction with outside men. After the demise of the Holy Prophet, she went to the mosque only when she had left with no other option. She took a political stand, defended it, and delivered an impromptu speech. It was against her values to speak with such ill-mannered people, but she accepted humiliation and sacrificed herself to safeguard the Imam of her time. She left her footprints on the minds and hearts of the Ummah, whereupon they could no longer ignore the matter of Fadak and the succession to the Holy Prophet. All women of the world are indebted to Islam and particularly to Lady Fatima. Pick up any civilization or any religion. Women were never given equal status in their respective societies. Islam came to their rescue. It was Islam freed women from being used as slave, buried alive, being burned with the dead husband, having no share in the property, and from being denied even equal nourishment. Had Lady Fatema not fought for her rights over further, then women may not have ever been recognized as heirs to their father's property or to that of their husbands. From one perspective, the importance of her role exceeds that of men's, for she creates other human beings and rears them. In the words of Ayatollah Ruhollah Khomeini, whom I consider as my spiritual father as well, it is because of the upbringing of the mother that a man ascends to his perfection. A mother is the backbone of the family, and the society is the assimilation of such individual families. Tony Blair's son was arrested drunk late night in July of 2000. The next morning, at a press briefing, he said that being a prime minister can be a tough job, but I always think being a parent is probably tougher. This is the job of a woman. Yes, indeed, it is harder to build it is easier to build missiles and satellites, but it is much harder to raise a noble human being. Fatema Zahra Salamullah Alaiha is such an extraordinary woman that she not only raised 4 noble human beings, but billions of noble human beings through those 4. Our duty is to be worthy of belonging to that holy household. The constant pain and obstacle to the evil agenda of the West are men like Ayatollah Khomeini, Ayatollah Sistani, Ayatollah Khoya, Ayatollah Khamenei, Haji Qasim Abu Mahdi Mohandes, etc., who were born and brought up by hijabi Muslim women. That's the reason they wish to devalue hijab. So in a nutshell, irrespective of any era, men's and women's role remain the same, only the ways of implementing keep changing with the progression of human intellect. For example, women used to communicate earlier also, but with written notes. Nowadays, we have so many ways of communicating, but the objective remains unchanged. Around the last days of the Holy Prophet, Sayyidah Fatima was crying beside him. He woke up and questioned with troubled eyes, "Who made you cry in my life?" He then whispered to her, "You will be the first to join me." She smiled, but again started crying. He then said, "Are you not happy that Hamza and Jafar are from us?" And I'm skipping the further details. And in the end he said, "Are you not happy that Al-Mahdi is from your pure lineage?" She gave a big smile. And that is why I often address my Imam as Ibtisamat al-Zahra, Labkhand Zahra, or the Smile of Zahra. Why did she smile? For this contemporary era. What is this era? This is the era when everyone is waiting for the last promised savior of justice and humanity, whom we know as Imam al-Mahdi Ajalallahu Ta'ala Sharif. There will be 50 women out of 313 in his cabinet. So what's the role of a Muslim woman today? Once Prophet asked everyone in the mosque, "What's the best thing for a woman?" None of them could answer. Imam Ali came back home and asked Lady Fatema, "Your father asked a question that only you can answer best." She replied, "To safeguard against the trends of the time." Ponder over this statement. Her statement applies at all times. Yes, we should not be trend followers, but rather people of reason and insight. A trend can be set by anyone and could be good or bad. So if we don't have our reasoning faculties intact, we will certainly be deceived. Today's hottest topic is hijab. In this matter, our mistake was to use the term hijab instead of sun. Hijab means veil. The Holy Quran describes the setting of the sun, and Allah used the term bil hijab for that. And even the diaphragm separating heart from our stomach is also termed as hijab. Only words in the Quran where hijab is used for women is for the wives of the Holy Prophet. Their matter is different from the common women. The Islamic precept seeks to limit all forms of sexual pleasure to the family and marital environment, leaving society as a place for work and activity. It is opposite to the Western system of the present era, which mixes work with sexual enjoyment. Islam separates these two environments completely. They boast about their man-made laws. Yes, their constitution gives you the right to become anybody. You can become a PM, you can become a lawyer, a judge, a scientist, or a police officer. But no constitution guarantees your dignity and safety once you are exposed to such masculine work environment. Pick up any newspaper. Each day, at least 2 to 3 rape cases are reported in India alone. Imagine the unreported cases across the world. And I wonder about the so-called liberal Muslims of the Indian subcontinent. Those who say that covering is a matter of choice. Show me a single ayah or a hadith where Allah left it to your choice. These are irresponsible writers. Such statements further weaken cases like the Karnataka hijab rule. It is your choice because you are living in a non-Muslim country, not in an Islamic country. Hence, I request all these naive writers, please do not say anything if you cannot comprehend to the Islamic laws. It seems lamenting the hijab of Zainab has become a mere formality. I would like to request in our Iran Culture House, and so please start some programs on Islamic philosophy. It is our duty to correct the misconception prevalent in society, and it will strengthen our existing beliefs as well. Despite so much knowledge, with the passing of time, the status of women in both non-Islamic and Islamic societies have once again sunk to pre-Islamic levels. Just like his grandfather, Imam al-Mahdi, revolution will overturn the world order and unify the entire world under the banner of true Islam. The status of women will be no exception either. It will be bring back to the rightful station once again. First, implement Islam on your 5 to 6 feet body, then look out for others. Islam, Imam Muhammad al-Baqir, in the age of the Mahdi, knowledge will be so pervasive that even a woman in her house will judge according to the book of Allah and the sunnah of the Prophet, thanks to the internet. I myself can say it with confidence that if with the knowledge I acquired at my home through internet, through self-study and through fikr of tadabbur, I can easily do 2-3 PhD at least now.
Inshallah.
Why does the Quran talk about some historical events? The simple answer would be to learn from the past. But how? How many of you have studied statistics or stats? Is there any data science student here? Okay. There is a technique called regression analysis. It builds a learning model from past events in order to predict the future events. This is exactly what we should do with the Quran and Hadith and history. Our technique should adapt to the situation. Study Iblis very closely. Our jihad isn't meant for the physical battle, but for the intellectual battle. We should be fighting on all fronts, be it medical teaching, bioinformatics, data science, artificial intelligence, geospatial, but do not neglect the Islamic code of conduct. Why so? Imam Jafar Sadiq once said, during the time of Mahdi, knowledge will reach its peak so much that humans will grow on trees. No one could have imagined it. Today, the artificial embryo is the reality. Now we must think about where they started and where they are taking us. They started with IVF, and the tagline is to fulfill the dream of those who cannot have children. Beautiful, right? Now creating designer babies by altering DNA. The target is to create from scratch to a fully grown human being. Gradually, women would look for ease as we are the people of automation world. Why to carry the burden for 9 months when we have a choice of doing it without any difficulties? What's the aim here? Because 90% of intelligent genes are inherited from mothers. So remove this bond between a mother and a child. There will be no more Khomeini or Sulaimani. Problem is solved. Allah could have created Prophet Isa from nowhere, but he preferred to have a mother but not a father. Hence, if we can enter this field of bioengineering, we can better educate our community about the pros and cons of such technologies. Look behind those deceptive glitters of limelight. In that culture, husband and wife cannot trust each other. The divorce rate is so high. Drug addiction, depression, poverty, sexual harassment, all these crimes are rising at unprecedented rate. A vast majority are either of illegitimate birth or living in orphanages or with stepmothers or fathers who cannot be trusted. There is a pile of documentaries available on YouTube. Go see their ugly truth yourself. For them, women are nothing more than a piece of entertainment. As Will Durant has said, the mini skirt is a blessing for everyone in the world except the seamstresses. This is their idea of freedom. You are free to be watched by lustful eyes. Freely available means what? If you buy something from the market and you get a free brief with it, you feel happy, right? You might use it, the item, or if you don't like it, you will just throw it away without any guilt or hesitation, as it was free. And this is exactly what's happening in Western societies today. We acknowledge the scientific advancements of the West, but we reject its corrupt intent. I'm truly grateful to the Iranian women for their bravery and commendable work, not only for their country, but also for you, the members of Muslim Ummah. Without these wonderful women, the Islamic revolution would not have been a success. A moral society should function like a team with each other's support. The mission may fail if you remove just one support. Our task is tough. So seek help from Allah through Salat al-Tahajjud. As Allah has commanded His Prophet in Quran, He wished to put a great burden on him to practice Salat al-Tahajjud. So if you can build this habit of performing Tahajjud, then Allah will assist you in everything else. So your first target is to include Tahajjud in your daily practice. Inshallah, you will have clarity of mind and soul, and inshallah, it will lift the veil between you and your Imam. Sayyida Fatema Zahra. With this, I just would like to wrap up my talk. Sayyida Fatema Zahra Salamullah Alaiha has pinned her hopes on you, the Muslim women. Please do not fail the Smile of Zahra. I wish you all the good luck, and thanks once again to wonderful ladies Mansha and Alina and others. They are constantly striving to bring some wonderful topics in public. Thanks once again. Shukran. Ma'as-salama.
Thank you very much, Ms. Jahan, for your valuable speech.